Hey, what's going on, my Evercade viewers? My name's Evercade, welcome to the channel, and today I want to discuss, well, this might be a bit of a weird topic to discuss, because when Evercade first launched, the first Evercade system was a handheld, it was all about single-player games, there was no multiplayer. But I want to basically have a discussion on why the Evercade VS and Evercade needs more multiplayer games on the system. Now, obviously, with the Evercade EXP come in, we all know we're getting Street Fighter 2 and whatnot, but we don't know if that's going to be like, you can like connect to systems with our Wi-Fi or whatever. But to me personally, the Evercade VS, right? VS versus, it means you want to play with your friends, right? And they marketed the Evercade VS as a system to play games with your friends. So besides some sports games, some beat 'em ups, and you have a few bits and bobs like Micro Mages and Crystal Castles, I believe, there aren't really many options for other multiplayer games on Evercade. Now, Blaze is aware of this. Blaze is clearly well aware of this. You know, they're working with many different developers and that to try and bring more games to Evercade. But there's a problem. And the problem is the Evercade VS doesn't really have many great games, really, in my opinion, to play multiplayer on. Because obviously you got your beat 'em ups. Everyone loves beat 'em ups. Beat 'em ups are a great multiplayer activity. Sports games are a lot more hit or miss. Same with racing games, because different developers have different styles, and you might not like a certain racing game, or might not like a certain football game, whatever. Or in the case of a lot of sports games, the games might have aged very poorly. And then you got games like Micro Mages, which is a great little indie game, which is made for multiplayers. You know, you can play as multiplayer with that, and that's a great game to have on Evercade. But it doesn't negate the fact that we are missing quite a large lineup of multiplayer games, and you know, we could potentially see more multiplayer games on Evercade in the future. But personally, I feel like what Blaze needs and what Evercade needs right now to really show that, hey, we have, Evercade VS is for everyone. You know, play with your friends, play with your family. Is something like a Bomberman clone. I know getting Bomberman itself might be hard due to Konami's involvement and Konami not really being in the mood to license games, as I assume. But Pico Interactive, who's already on Evercade and has published 4 cartridges on Evercade, those being their own cartridges and the Galago cartridges, they own, at least from what I'm aware, they own a Bomberman clone called Boom Zoo. So getting that on Evercade could be a potential win. Getting some more beat 'em ups on Evercade could be another win. Getting some more fighting games on Evercade, you know, like you made a deal with Capcom to get the rights to like have Street Fighter 2 built on the Evercade EXP. Maybe hopefully you can make a deal with Capcom to get, I don't know, Street Fighter 3 on an Evercade cartridge, which you can then play on your VS. You know, and that's the thing, is like the Evercade VS has been marketed as like a multiplayer first console, right? And there are also quite a few multiplayer games on Evercade. I'm not denying that. What I'm saying though is there aren't really many major ones that will attract much of an audience. You know, I know games like 64 Detective Story is great, a little beat 'em up. I've done a whole review on it, but that game isn't going to bring in the same traction to people who want to play games with their friends or their kids or whatever as something like Streets of Rage or Street Fighter or Bomberman. Now, it all comes down to licensing once again, and due to the Capcom collection being built into the EXP and not being a physical cartridge, this kind of, in my opinion, this kind of weighs it down a bit, because if the Capcom collection was an actual cartridge and allowed us to play games like Street Fighter 2 on the VS where we can play with our friends or family, that'd be a huge bonus for us, and that'd be a huge win for a lot of Evercade enthusiasts, especially those that don't want to buy another handheld. Now, do I think Blaze is going to improve this? Well, in 2023, we don't know what the roadmap is. We know we're getting Indie Heroes Collection 1 in January, but we don't know beyond that. We don't know what the games we're getting beyond that January next year are. We know where you got Amiga coming, but in 2023, we can just kind of hope that Blaze does something and Blaze comes out with some multiplayer games for us, because having the VS is great, but when you haven't really got many great games to really play multiplayer on, it kind of negates the point of having one. Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts about this in the comments down below. Do you think Blaze needs more multiplayer games? Do you think they're fine? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe, make sure you share, like, all that good stuff. And I'll catch you next episode. Peace.